Imagine traveling across the world, taking care of people, saving lives, doing what you love, making money, and taking vacations.
Speak up.
Florence Nightingale is a woman of impact as the modern travel nurse as today. Today I'm going to talk to you about her impact on this world, including her time in the Crimean War and her nighttime school. As a student at Grayson, I'm preparing myself to enter into this world of nursing, and the impact that she has on us today as students and how we practice hygiene and compassion and empathy for others really shows in how she treated soldiers in the Crimean War. Nightingale was born May 18th, 1820 in Florence, Italy. She was born into a British family. At that time, she was born into high class, which would be considered, cultural privilege and women expectations, like women take care of their children and their husbands and their household. So at that time, her passion for nursing was looked down upon because to take care of the sick was considered not a good job. It was considered low class. But she never gave up on her passion and kept begging her parents. So finally, they gave up. And instead of getting married, they sent her to Germany and Paris to be able to have the education that she needed to be a nurse. After all that education and work and time she had spent in Germany and Paris, for all that education she received, she stepped into the time of the Crimean War, which started in 1854. At that time, hygiene was not good at all, and a lot of soldiers had died due to poor hygiene and bad conditions. Well, Nightingale noted that, and she worked to change that, starting hygiene campaigns and all sorts of things in order to make these soldiers be able to have a chance after being in war. And she even showed compassion. Even after night, when everyone was asleep, she would walk around and individually come to these soldiers and sit with them, talk to them, get to know them. Today, as nurses, we call that rounds, doing rounds, checking up on patients, but she became known as the lady with the lamp. In 1860, rolls around, and she starts opening up her own school. Nowadays, we know that as nursing school or college. She opened up her school to practice hygiene and compassion and empathy to others, and to show these future nurses how correctly to treat a patient, make sure that their wounds aren't dirty or anything. She opened up that school, and today, nowadays, students all over the world are graduating as nurses due to one of her impacts. And what does that all have to do with today? Well, traveling is one thing she did. It wasn't known as travel nurses back then, but that's what she was doing. She was traveling. She made a huge impact on that. Because when you're traveling, there's not much to do other than going, seeing the world, and taking care of people, which those are great things to do. So why not do both? Travel nurses are the same thing as a regular nurse that you would see in a staff hospital. The only difference is they would be considered under contract. But in Nightingale's time, it was not contracted because it was considered a low-class job. But altogether, I would like to say that she personally has an impact on today's nurses as being not just the only one, but one of many nurses to make an impact on today's nurses.